Hey yo, what's up? You know who it is. It's the one and only Triple the G.O.D. Welcome back to Run That Rex, everybody. Now, before we begin today's Maverick Hunt, there's something I do want to get off my chest and say. I am going to admit out loud to myself that, yeah, I should have recorded a video yesterday, but you know, with the allegedly the world going to come to a fiery end, I decided that, well, hey, if I'm going to die, let me at least find out how Go Kaiser ends. Since the world's going to end and I'm probably going to die, how about I upload 30 videos of Street Fighter EX2 Plus? And on top of that, seeing is that my life is going to be over in a matter of minutes, let me at least play Street Fighter Cross Mega Man and then write a blog about it before I die. And then we get to today, and nothing's changed in the world as far as I know, and we're still here. So, you know, that was a day gone, so now I have to make up for it. And the blog review of Street Fighter Cross Mega Man will be down in the bar because, you know, I love pouring myself out to you people. So now that we've got all that out the way, the regret and everything, and wipe off the shame, it's time to get back to work as the universe's greatest Maverick Hunter. So, being the universe's greatest Maverick Hunter, who died? This guy, the Water Dragon President, Acid Seaforce. Okay. Water Dragon President, Acid Seaforce. This right here gives Metamorph Minnows and whatever the hell he was. I think he was the fallen angel of the Isle of Dreams. Water Dragon President and Acid Seaforce. I think those two are right now in condition for best Japanese Maverick name right now. We going with that because you know. So with all that being said, let's get to work. Toxic Seaforce. There's really not much to say about him. He's one of the easiest Mavericks to fight when you have his weakness and a spaz otherwise. And this is the stage I feel in the game that really wants to teach you about playing defense. Because if you run into those things, you like half your energy, and I'm just like, no, let's not do that. You know, that's never good. But you know, destroying those robots doesn't do anything either, and stuffing things, because, you know, that's what we do. We destroy stuff. Well, other things you may want to know about today's video is we have some things to do. So, yeah, we got to do stuff. I kind of told you we had stuff to do last time, and look at me not making my air jump correctly because, you know, that's what we do. That's what we love to do on this show. Fuck up. That's what we love. You know, just making sure that you can't do the things you're supposed to do to collect pieces of candy hidden on the other side of the room. Oh, I got something for you. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. That didn't happen. There will be more about the awesome power of the Frost Shield within and a part of this video. But, you know, for now, know that it does have uses for other than, you know, killing things. Well, actually, it only uses killing things, but if it kills certain things, other certain things will happen. So, you know, keep that in mind. Alright, we're almost to our first destination of the day. We go up this wall here of green water. We get another heart tank, because, you know, we need those. And full health. Alrighty, a boss door. Now, we saw a cutscene. Let's hope the door works. And it works. Because for some reason, you know, during, you know, my practice run of this stage and throughout me playing the game in the past, sometimes Bit won't show up. Or Bite for that matter when you fight him later. Is that I haven't found any documentation that explains why Bit doesn't show up. Why Bite won't show up at certain times. Is that my only suggestion is that if you know that you are supposed to fight Bit or Bite and they don't show up, turn off the game, turn it back on, and they should probably show up. But enough with that. Bit would like to introduce himself to X. Well, you know, introducing yourself to me means you die, but, you know, hey, who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? You want to introduce yourself to this death? Hey, whatever, cuz. I don't care. So, Bit, go right ahead. Welcome, Max. I'm Bit. I have my orders. You're to be destroyed. Oh my god, another one of these guys? You run in the room, talk about you're gonna destroy me, But luckily for you, I have the magic thing you're weak to. It's the awesome power of the Frost Shield. And Bit simply is just stand, let them line up with you, and at some point, you'll get hit like that, or you'll do that, either or. But the whole thing to fighting Bit for real is that make sure that you're shooting with the Frost Shield. Because, you know, you want this to be over as quick as possible. Like now. Now, there is, you know, some caveat to what we've just done, and we'll explain it later, and then at the end of the video, and then later down the line. So we've got a lot to get into, and there's a lot about Bit that I'm going to skip, because if I even start to hint at, you know, what Bit and Byte mean in their Japanese names, it's not going to make a lick of sense until we get to the second half of the game. So I won't get into all of that because, you know, as I thought about during a boss fight there, you know, I might as well, you know, drop all that on you at once, because if I put it all together at one time, it's going to make sense, and then, you know, we're going to have a Japanese linguistics lesson. So, Bit, you're dead now. And, you know, we killed you, and then I spent a whole bunch of time explaining why, you know, we're not going to talk about you or your Japanese name, which for the record is Bajuria double F. And it will make no sense now, as I just told the people, but again, you know, whatever. You know what? Take the floor and blow up. How about that? Take the floor and blow up. No. This Rep Boy's special abilities are too. No, it can't be. Ah! And he's dead. See, I don't even have the time to even act this out. You're dead. I don't even want to do this. You're done. Nice blowy uppy hellfire. And because of the awesome power of traveling through time, we'll see Bit again later. So, you know, don't worry about it, Bit fans. He'll be back. Now, here's our fun part of the game. And look, here it is. Another ride armor changer, and we can't use it. Now, we'll get into ride armors later, but just know, normally, in order to get something from this stage, that you need a certain version of the ride armor to get it. But, you know, we'll explain that later. I just want to show you that it was done. Q Awesome. Hello, Zero. Thanks for joining us, man. See, your magic superpowers are about to come in handy, you know, right about... No. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Big giant ass ice rock! Now, normally, is that, you know, Zero being the awesome mofo that he is, because in his hack that he can fully charge up his buster without having to have an additional ability. It allows us to use the Frost Shield in that way so that we can get up to our first ride armor change, the Kangaroo armor. And, you know, we can't use it because we don't have the main ride armor. See, more stupid stuff. So, you know, with that being said, you know, we got one more thing to do. Zero, let's go. Now, this is possible with X as well, but, you know, I just wanted to do it with Zero because, you know, don't fall down there. See, that fan that you saw, briefly, you need the ride armor for that, and, you know, we'll get into that later. Daddy! Hey, Daddy, what's going on? How you doing? Okay. Pop, I have a legitimate straight question for you. Legitimate straight question, you know, from father to son, son to father. What up with the pink cap? Really, what's really good? No. You know what? I have spent my whole existence questioning the things that you've done. You know, hiding armors inside the enemy base, hiding them inside of dinosaur tanks. In the future, you're going to hide it in a moving truck. I don't want to even get into this. I don't. You know what, Pop? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to step back over here in the cut, And I'm going to let you explain to the kids what this pink capsule is, because I really feel that it has some importance, but I don't quite know the importance until you tell me, or until I give you a chance to tell me or let you do so. So, go right ahead. Enter this capsule, X. Install this leg chip. This chip will enable you to dash in the air twice in a row. With the chip, your mobility in the air will be greatly enhanced. Remember, X, your system can only handle one of the 4 enhancement chips. Enter this capsule if you're only sure you want to use this chip. Alright, Pops. So, let me, explain to the children at home exactly what it was you just said, so we have a legitimate understanding. You say, if I enter this pink capsule right here, is that I can air dash twice. But you're saying in prefacing, and I'm getting this from context clues, is that there's more than one of these. And I'm assuming that there's one for each one of my parts available. Okay, I can get with that. Now, stepping back from being X, and it's triple the G.O.D speaking right now, here's a couple of caveats to this. Through password manipulation, you can give yourself 3 chips. If you're patient enough and can wait a little bit, you can have all the power. All of it. So, I'm just giving you this as pre-facing knowledge if you're playing this game, is that you have choices, ladies and gentlemen. You can get this now. There are other ones scattered all about the world in this pinkness that you can choose to have one of them. Here's the thing. In certain instances, in certain ways that I've watched people play the game and that it makes sense to me, is that some of them are useful, just having a single enhancement to one of your chips. So, it's a you thing. You can already figure out what it is that I'm going to do. But there is one more small caveat to this thing, and we'll get into it, at a later date. So, Pops, I say thee nay. I don't want your air dash. I don't want it. I don't want it. See, and just for the record, you can do this with us and get hit in the process. Okay. Now that we've sat up here, explained a whole bunch of stuff that, it doesn't really matter right now and stuff and things, let's get back to this killing, because, again, that's what we do. We kill stuff. And I think we can let Zero handle this. Yeah, I think we can. We can let Zero handle this. I'll let him fully charge up to Tommy Oliver mode. That's what we're going to call it. Green Ranger shit. Y'all don't know nothing about that. And here's our friend Hodoreka. There's really nothing much to this guy. He shoots rockets and stuff and some mines and things. But, he'll be dead shortly because, Right. Now, shortly. Dead. See that? The awesome things we can do when we're Mega Man Zero. Oh, wait. Wrong game. Oh, wait. That hasn't happened yet. Oop, I just told the future! Time paradox! Snake! 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 Okay, I am making too many referential jokes today. I'm just feeling good today. You know what I'm saying? I feel, today is as good a day as any to make referential jokes to, Metal Gear Solid, a game that, honestly, that I'm going to submit on video that I need to finish because, there's something very complicated in the reason why I haven't finished Metal Gear Solid 4 and how much I want to play Revengeance. But, I wanted to play Revengeance for you guys, but every time I kill a gecko, the demo freezes. So I'm like, I'll just wait for them to, to release a public demo, and maybe they can fix that shit. Dog. For shizzle bitches. Well, with all me telling you secrets of behind the scenes stuff, we entered the boss door with Awesome Zero in Green Ranger mode. And here's our boss for today. Acid Seaforce! Okay, now you die. See, if you have the Frost Shield, you just do this. Or that, because I don't know how he blocked that, but just do this. It reminds me of another water-based robot master. What was his name? Oh yeah, Toadman! Just shoot bullets and stuff, and sooner or later, you stick enough frost shields in him and he dies. That's what we do here on Run That Risk. We kill shit. And it is what it is. So, we sit, watch the explosions. They play my song. 0. Mission accomplished. Well, kiddies, with Maverick number 3 down, we get the awesome power of what? Oh yeah, the acid burst. Now, just like the frost shield I told you about earlier, the acid burst has a special ability as well. But, again, we'll get into that, when we get ready to prepare for war and all that, as we usually do. So, it is what it is with that. So, there you go, kiddies. Maverick numero 3 down. Water Dragon President Acid Seaforce. Metamorph Menos. Fallen Angel of the Island of Dreams. They are going to fight that out of my head, and at some point, one of those will be awesomer than the other, and a victory of 2 dragons trying to bite each other's head off. I don't know. But I'd like to thank you guys so much, for tuning in today. Your favorite YouTube show. I'm glad, after having the apocalypse beat down on you and secretly wishing that the world would burn in eternal hellfire, that, yeah, you feel a little happy that you survived another day because, honestly, let's be for real here. You read the Bible, it tells you no man knows the day the world's going to end. That's a God thing. I'll stop right there. I'm done. However, though, we are not quite done yet. We have to go see Bit once more because there's something you just gotta see. So, it's time, children. DeLorean, 88 miles per hour, zoomy zoom zoom. So, you guys will join me at a point in the past where Bit still lives. Or something to that degree. So, I'll see you guys in the past. Welcome to Best Friends Forever Time Travel. I am your host with the most, Triple the G.O.D. Now, you might have remembered this thing earlier, in the future, which is the past. Now, never mind. We'll be here all day explaining, space-time continuum. However, the last time we saw Bit, we fought him with X, and we used the frost shield, and you may not even question why I was using a frost shield, but let me share with you a secret. Bit has 2 weaknesses. One of those being the frost shield, and the other one will be a weapon we'll be picking up in a couple of videos, the Triad Thunder. Other than the X Buster, or in this case the Zero Buster and Saber and such, is that most of the weapons bounce off Bit. So there's no reason to use them. So if you're going to fight Bit, either you're going to fight him with the X Buster, or if you get to Bit, at some point you'll either want to have the Frost Shield or the Triad Thunder. In most boss order that you could try to jump around in, you would have one of those 2 weapons at some point. So, it is what it is with that. The thing is, however, the reason why Bit did a big, giant, nasty, oh my god, I'm dying scream is because I killed him. This is key to something later on. As most things that I do in videos are key to things later on. But, let's present you with a mental question while you watch me wax his ass again with Zero. What happens if I don't use the weapons that he's weak to? Oh, and the cool thing of the hack is that they actually rewrite it, to let you know that Zero is actually a part of the scene instead of X, which is really cool. So, fight begin! Come get some C-Zeta. Well, this is going, as good as it could be. More homie balls of death. Why, Bit? Why? Well. You know, I scraped through this battle. Scrummed through this battle. But Bit, however, unfortunately, which, you know, because this is the past that we're tampering with. This is not the actual future, but spoiler alert, it will be kind of sort of later. But you'll see exactly what I mean. You're as good as they say, Zero. The result won't be the same next time. And as you see, instead of blowing up in the blue internal hellfire, which I, as a UH Maverick level Maverick Hunter enjoy, he just teleports away. This is key, again, to something later, which has to do with me not telling you about Bit's Japanese information, and nor will I tell you about Bites when we get to him, because we're setting up for something here, and I want you guys to follow along. So I'm going to spoil that much. There are reasons behind the things you're seeing here today, and it's going to make a whole lot of sense and come together really quick as soon as we get into the second half of the game. So, with Bit gone for now, and me tampering with the space-time continuum again, and you would think after what happened at the end of Mega Man X2, I would learn my lesson about tampering with time, but man, I don't care. So, with that being said, I am Triple the G.O.D. This is One Dat Rex, and I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.